Hello, so I've decided to show a setup of an aquarium, and in this episode, I'm just showing some really basic initial steps to be taken in setting up a freshwater aquarium. This will be a freshwater aquarium, um, and I live in an apartment, so a few things that I needed to. First of all, this is what it looks like. This is a 40-gallon breeder on an aluminum stand. Or no, I'm sorry, steel. This is a steel stand, and you can see there's a open. It's open. There's not a wooden. It's not a cabineted stand like some of them. And I have it placed next to. Well, first I want to say there is a window right here. Ideally, you don't want to have it next to a window. Um, However, in my apartment, virtually every angle has some type of indirect or direct sunlight. So that is so I've chosen. I'm gonna keep this window shade blinds closed to minimize nearby sunlight, and I have one over there, another window that's closed. And forgive the mess. I'm trying to organize it, but I have it in this spot because I determined that there's actually I'm on the second floor of an apartment. I wanted to make sure that it would the apartment would be strong enough to hold it. So, um, a 40-gallon aquarium, an aquarium with 40 gallons is going to be about 330 to 350 pounds. It's basically 8 pounds per gallon of water. So that's about it's like 8.4 pounds per gallon. Um, so it's like almost 350 pounds, and you definitely want to make sure that your location will support it. If you're in a house, you need to check the beams, the studs, um, the floor bearings to see where the support will be. So I put this aquarium up against the wall because it's against the outer support of the building, and it should be plenty supported um, in this position. And then I placed it next to this outlet um, for easy electrical use. I plan to put in a power supply, a power strip that has a trip mechanism in case there's an electrical surge, so that it won't destroy any electrical. It won't have a surge. So basically, if there were a surge and you didn't have a trip mechanism, then the electrical devices such as this pump, the pump on this filter, hang on the back filter, um, could um, leak a surge into the water column, killing everything. So you don't want to do that. The purpose of the trip mechanism is it'll trip, and it just will shut off everything on that circuit. Um, and you see it's filled. You see the tank right now is filled with water, and there's absolutely nothing in it. And I don't even have the pump running on the filter. So basically, I'm taking this setup kind of slowly, just because of personal. I want to make sure that I have the finances right for this setup. And what I'm doing now, this is basically a water test to just demonstrate that the tank itself can hold water. And it's been holding water for quite some time now. It's been holding water for a couple weeks. Um, I started to I was getting started with it, and then I took a pause. Setting up the cycle. So right now it has fresh water in it. I took tap water from the faucet, and then I added some Prime. Prime is a dechlorinator by Seachem, and this isn't a very exciting setup right now, but I just wanted to demonstrate this initial setup and the initial steps. And I also wanted to come down here and show you something. So you might not be able to see it in the video. Okay, you can't really see it in the video, but there's a 1 millimeter gap between the bottom of the tank and the stand, and that runs all along this. But there's support on the corners and sides. And someone at the local fish store, an employee there, reassured me that with a rim tank from Aqueon, this is an Aqueon glass aquarium with a rim on it, this black rim. Tanks like this will be supportive enough, even with a gap like that. So I recommend, if you do have something like that, talk to someone at a local fish store to gain their to get their opinion on your particular situation, so that you don't run into any kind of breakages later on and flooding, which you don't want. And I plan to do a cycle on this. The next step is to do a fishless cycle on this tank, and basically I'm going to be adding sand to the bottom as my substrate, and you'll see. I'll show you what sand I'm putting in, and I'm going to basically use just fish food as my ammonia source and add Seachem stability as my bacteria source. And then I'll go into more detail with some of the other steps to take. But when you're selecting a position for your tank, you ideally want to have it far away from windows, or away from a window as best as possible. Just and in a position that it can support the weight. So if you are on the first floor or it's on the basement floor, then you shouldn't have any issues if you have cement as your floor. Otherwise, you should make sure that it can support it. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for further developments.